We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about the crypto market making its comeback finally, and there are so big things lining up. There are so many things that are coming right now that play nicely one into each other, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk today about gold. We're going to talk about Dogecoin. We're going to talk about Ecomi VeChain. We're going to talk about the macro, obviously Bitcoin. We're going to talk about global M2. So make sure to stay all the way through and see how this all ties together, and smash up the like button already while I'm rolling the small intro. I am hyped. I am excited. So good morning, good morning, good morning to each and every one of you. I know this is exhausting, what's happening here. We are bouncing off of bull market support band, but it doesn't really feel like a bounce because we are always going like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But we are somehow still, since this low, up 3.6% on Bitcoin, and have tried to break out to this upside on a 5% move several times already here on this daily chart to fulfill our small inverse head and shoulders pattern to break higher, right? So that is what we see. That is what we are waiting for, but there is some big things coming up. So first of all, let's talk about what's going on in the broader market. And by the way, let's have also a sip of coffee here. There we go. We do have the PPI numbers today, which I don't think will bring much volatility. It will just add to the overall picture. We do have the core inflation tomorrow, and I think that is going to be where the next sentiment is going to be made. Forecasted at 3.1. If this comes in anything lower than 3.1, it's going to be perceived as pretty bullish. If it comes in lower than 3, I think it's going to be perceived as giga bullish, and because then people will speculate more on a 50 basis point rate cut, right? So we are going to observe this very closely, what's happening tomorrow, and then we are closing here in on the next week on our Fed rate interest decision, and I think that is also where this is latestly resolved. I think it could be already tomorrow with the rate cuts, but I think this, from a technical standpoint, will then be resolved throughout the next 1 week, right? Until the rate cut, that would be only 1 week out. But we do already have signs in the market for good things to come. So let's talk about it. Let's open maybe up with Doge, because we are looking at a time where people said there will be no altcoin season, but then we do have all these altcoin ETFs launching, and we do have the first US Doge ETF to begin trading on Thursday. So that is happening then tomorrow. is that tomorrow? Yeah, right. Today is Wednesday. I'm completely losing time here. The era of meme coin exchange traded fund has begun in the United States, according to Bloomberg. So we do see the first meme coin exchange traded fund is set to debut on Thursday, making the latest step in expansion of regulated crypto products, right? And remember the time 1 year ago when we sat here and was it 1 year ago or a little bit more? The old SEC was still there. Gary Gensler was going after all altcoins. Then 2 years ago, you would still consider or think about, will there ever be a Ethereum ETF? And then 3 years ago, it was even debatable if there's going to be a Bitcoin ETF, right? So now we are here looking at the first launch of this Dogecoin ETF. After Bitcoin and Ether have already been rolled out. In a social media post on Tuesday, Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas said the Rex Osprey Doge ETF is set to debut on Thursday, and that obviously, if we see any surges or so, everyone else will launch these ETFs, and it's going to be crazy because literally these will be part of mixed ETFs, and then people will just buy top 10, top 20, and then Doge and all the others will just get random allocation of capital that is being poured into crypto. So pretty sure this is the first ever US ETF to hold something that has no utility or purpose. That is not entirely true. As you could argue that some companies that definitely have big market valuations also have no utility and no purpose at all. But anyways, but that might be somewhat true, right? There's really and literally no utility, no purpose. Then again, you could argue that the purpose of a meme is to entertain people, and what can entertain people more than having it up there and making people buy memes on a random basis because they are trying to buy the overall crypto market, and they have to buy memes with it if they want to get a generic exposure like a mixed ETF, right? So it's like people that buy the entire S&P 500, they also can't choose which companies they like or dislike. They just buy the overall development. So yeah, meme coin era about to kick off, we see here. So let's see if the meme coin era kicks off with that or not yet. Let's see. But very interesting stuff. Then we do have, at the same time, basically, now the final over of Ripple's SEC battle. Time to challenge Swift. Good question, right? So XRP army is ready to be excited, right? With that, let's move on to the banger, right? And the banger is gold. We won't believe it, but the banger is gold. And gold has, let's quickly get rid of Bitcoin here first. Gold has, broken out of this massive consolidation here that we have. And if you see, like, Bitcoin is doing something like that itself and has not broken out yet, if you would consider this the consolidation, right? And then maybe very soon we're going to go up, and that is something that we have been highlighting all the time here. Look at gold, it will tell you where Bitcoin goes. Until today, that holds absolutely true. We do see with this gold move of 9.45%, I mean, gold is moving like an altcoin at this point. In a 3-week time frame or so, it's even a 10% move if you take really this low, for example, and 12.39% up to the week high. Gold did reach 3,679. I am very glad that I already bought my wedding rings in this phase here, so that I don't have this price increase anymore, right? But anyways, there we go. We do have then for Bitcoin the scenario, and now let's align this properly. that we somehow even let's put it really as is. It's more or less like this to be fully aligned. Yeah. So this part is this on the pink line, right? This consolidation is this consolidation on Bitcoin, and this consolidation is this here on Bitcoin, right? And what we see if we mark these points, and this consolidation is this here, right? So we are somewhat off with Bitcoin by a lot, right? So if we take these points, we can always basically nail gold rallies here first, gold moves here first, gold moves here not first, right? But here it moves first, here it moves first. So in what is that? 4 out of 5 times gold moves first and then Bitcoin follows. Now we have gold already moving, so Bitcoin can't move first anymore. But even here you could argue, right? Like massive pump out of gold and then Bitcoin follows here, right? So we expect this to happen again, yeah? Just for everyone to explain. Hey, Stu, the gold man. Wait a second. We have Stu on this chart. There it is. Stu, from 2nd of September 2024, up here in the corner, you see it, says $8,000 gold. Hey PH, giddy up, gold and silver, brother. Absolutely, man. Really happy for this rally to happen exactly like you said and predicted there. I mean, we're still way off of 8,000, but I mean, you said that. Let's mark the place where you said this quickly here for everyone else to see this. 2nd of September 2024. Here. It was in this. It was even in this dip, I think. Yeah, it was in this. Here is where Stu said that gold is going to go nuts. And so far he is very spot on, right? So yeah, it was in this upswing, to be honest, here, right? Here. So, okay. Since then, gold has pumped 47%. 48%, let's give it this percent here, right? 48%. Stu still believes in the $8,000 target here for gold. But because this has been back then and still is a Bitcoin gold debate, right? We also have to point out that from the 2nd of September, here, 2nd of September 2024 until where we are, gold is up Bitcoin is up 112.83%. And I said back then, my lovely Stu, that I bet on Bitcoin, and we are only where we are right now, right? The extent of the move has been higher, but it is what it is. So yeah, I love winning, but I also love winning here. But it's all right. Yeah. By the way, when someone says I love winning, I always have to remember this this Trump meme with how is it? We are you will beg, please. I can't take it anymore. We are winning. We are winning too much. Yeah, that one is really great. Yeah, we are all winning. Exactly. It's just a matter of what level of let's say what your risk profile is. I would say would be the most accurate thing to describe, right? You will get sick of winning. Please, no more winning. Yeah, exactly. And then like everything red, market red, everything down. Yeah. That has been happening. By the way, guys, we have to run a little bit because I do not have endless time today. We have to run a little bit. Let's look at the market, and we do have some movers here. And look at this. MYX Finance is completely going nuts. 1,400%, 15x in 1 week. Extremely steep move. Out of, what the heck, right? There we go. This is brutal, right? I mean, this is crazy. I would never buy this, by the way. But okay, and you see, but what I want to show you is things can be dead for a long time, as you see here. They can look crazily dead, and then they go on an absolutely ballistic tear. And if you look from where this came before, this MYX Finance, it's like 62,000% in up, right? This is completely degenerate. 62,000%. But how did this look before? How did this look before this pump, right? It looked, I mean, in this phase down here, how did it look before it even started pumping, right? Nothing, right? It didn't look like anything bigger, right? And then now you can't even distinguish anymore if there are ups or lows or where to put exactly to put right. Exactly, it's screaming for a rug pull. Exactly what Bjorn says, and that rug pull, hopefully, like if you're on this, I would definitely massively take profit here, as every indicator screams that this going to go. I mean, I would. This is on 97 RSI. That alone would tell me you are on the top. You get a bear cross on the stochastic RSI. The TSI is still widening, fine, but also long wicks here, right? So MYX Finance, why is it up? The MYX token extends Sunday triple-digit surge, open interest the record high. The listing of the Trump-backed World Liberty Financial token on the MYX exchange fueled the rally. There are massive longs. I think there's price manipulation, and I've seen that already while researching a little bit. That this is a little bit, reminding some people of OM. So that could be definitely a thing. By the way, quickly, now that we have some people here, let's welcome the rare hodlers to this channel. Quickly, rare hodlers. So we do have Green Lantern in the house saying GMPH and Hodler Fam in the car waiting at the train crossing, liked and paying attention. Is very good, very good that you stopped for writing this message. I appreciate that. By the way, guys, smash up the like button, everyone here. Pukal Jortrich, also here from the Rare Hodler fam, morning PH, morning to you as well. Let's have a deep sip of coffee. If you want to become a Rare Hodler, you can do that. There's only one tier, couple of dollars, sponsors the channel basically, as I do not have any other channel sponsors besides all these people here. So I appreciate that. And then, so when I talk about any altcoin or so, until today, I am not sponsored. I will not exclude that for the future, because also I like to make money. But right now, I don't really see it, because it's very dangerous time, especially in the bull run, that some project comes and says, here is $5. Please promote my coin. Then all degenerates that watch this for the first time, they buy it and then they hate me, right? I don't want that. So I'd rather not take the $5 of these companies. Rather take the $5 directly from you. Yeah, just kidding. But everyone decide for their own. Besides that, I appreciate talking about degenerate crypto moves. I like that. So let's talk a little bit more about it. Let's quickly go to some altcoins that we put in the altcoin spotlight. So for VeChain, for example, right? VeChain is not looking like OM. In fact, it looks, not looking like MYX. It looks like a reverse MYX, right? But the good thing is it's still low. I mean, it's a little bit green, but it's still low. And it's in a massive consolidation, in my opinion, that at some point will break out, right? Just like here, consolidation, right? And we have here the consolidation. And at some point, I think this will break out. When? Question mark. But VeChain has a history of very violent breakouts. So why I'm looking into the future? This is a coin that is actually building, right? It's building. They have the Hayabusa testnet in Q4. Surprise, surprise! In Q4 is going to be the mainnet, right? They do have. There was something with a stable coin and so on. A lot of things are happening. So I'd rather go with an altcoin that is really doing something and that technically doesn't look unattractive, right? If you see this here. So for me, VeChain is one of them, right? That could at some point look like this, right? With a 15x or so over maybe on a monthly, not on a weekly. Or 10x or whatever. By the way, MYX, right? MYX went to 2 billion, 220 ranks. So it's coming from a couple of million market cap and directly goes to 2 billion, right? Also, if you see that we have discussed before the Dogecoin ETF launch, Dogecoin is number 8 cryptocurrency here. It doesn't have a use case besides being a meme, and it's $36 billion market cap, okay? So whatever's going on with an altcoin right now where it's down, it can, by theory, reach this market cap alone, right? But Doge has not pumped yet, right, on this. I think Doge will probably pump more. It's only up 130% on the year. So whatever altcoin you're in, there will be a time for it, unless it's already dead, right? That is the thing. Bjorn says, with the Hayabusa upgrade, tokenomics update will come too, to reduce inflation, for example. Yeah, exactly. There is also staking on VeChain, right? So they have the tokenomics upgrade where you can, I think, it's more affordable for people to get into the nodes, into the node system. So I think that will be good for VeChain. By the way, here it is. Small uptick of 2.5%, but still, we are in the green. OKB, by the way, it had pumped quite significantly, right? OKB is still like greenish, forming some bull flag stuff and so on. But we have to see, right? We did say, hey, locking in some profit, not too bad. And we did have an overall correction of 37% after that. Right now, this could be very well a big fat bull flag, right? How does it look on a weekly? Exactly like a bull flag. I mean, is there something else that looks more like a flag than this? Well, hopefully that thing will pump for everyone who's in that. I don't own any OKB, so I don't give a shit, but many people do. So we have these pumpers right now. We do have WorldCoin also pumping because of this privacy or whatever thing update that they did. I don't remember. Meme Core, the name says it, stands for itself. Yeah, let's see. Also, even some other memes like Bonk and SPX and so on. They have pumps with render up with 11%. And it's funny because now that you have one coin that goes like MYX, you don't see that there are actually other coins doing pretty well on the week. Like, for example, Render with 11% or Hype with 22% or the Graph with 10%, right? So some recoveries, Avalanche, 6, it looks like small little bubbles, but actually they do have 5 to 10% moves, right? So, yeah, we're definitely here in good waters. Let's look at Ecomi as well, as we do have also Ecomi in the altcoin spotlight, and we do see, let's get rid of the stuff that I painted in randomly here. We do see that still Ecomi is holding strong here on this apparently very strong support, on 2.9, 0.0029, just on top of this. Okay, so this seems to be somewhat of a support. We don't know if it will hold, but for now it looks pretty good, right? I mean, on the daily it looks good. On the weekly, we don't know, right? But okay, we do have a correction. How big is this correction right now since the pump? Almost 50% correction after a 180% move or so. This looks good. We do get a bull cross on the stochastic RSI on the daily, so this could be something, right? But also here we see RSI beyond 90 usually has a massive correction after it, right? Like we don't know exactly when and where, but yes, it does, right? And then on the weekly again, here we do see it. There we do not yet see any signs of a turnaround, but it would be cool if we could, on the weekly, form some kind of continuation, right? Some green candle to the upside again, maybe taking out even a weekly close above 00037, so that we somehow get this story of higher high and higher low going, right? For Ecomi. But it looks really, really good, like way better than until here. Right, so with the wedge into a breakout. Now we want to see something that doesn't downtrend anymore, right? And that could be very well around the corner with everything that Ecomi is doing, but also with how the market develops. And I really think it's just a matter of let's get through September together, and then there should be, if everything goes right, big pumps coming our way. And that on the altcoin front as well as on the Bitcoin front, right? But we do see here on the week, it's really not that bad, right? I mean, it's the rest of the market has about a 5% recovery or so as it got hit. And I think the moment that we get easing in the market, which is the 17th, where basically, let's see here, CME Fed Watch tool. Let's see this here. 7 days, 11 hours. Let's see the percentage. So yeah, now it shows basically, so the current rate is a 25 to 450, right? So there's 0% that the rate stays where it is, and a 91.7% that it drops 25 basis point, and a 8.3% estimate on a 50 basis point rate cut, right? So basically the market says the rate cut is coming, which I also think, of course it is. But even almost 10% believe there might be a 50% rate cut coming in. And this percentage will radically shift tomorrow after the inflation rate is communicated, okay? So, or not, right? If the inflation rate is exactly at 3.1, then probably it stays like this. But if the inflation rate comes in like 2.9, whatever, right, year over year, or whatever number, I don't know if that's even possible, but then we will see here this percentage to shift maybe even towards more 50% cut. If Powell does a 50% cut, then it's going to be wild, right? Then it's going to be wild in the market. But even 25% is going to be very positive. And then the question is also what he says, because then the inflation rate comes, and then the Fed decision comes, and then he will talk about it. And when he talks about it, he will indicate whether this is the only cut, or this would be bearish, right? Or there are 3 cuts, maybe this would be bullish, right? So the more cuts that he says this year is coming, because there's September, October, and December, right? If they could all be 25 cut. We will see, right? But this is probably going to, if we do get a cut on each of these, that's going to fuel massive rallies, right? So guys, make sure to smash up the like button on today's updates. Unfortunately, I have to jump already. Subscribe to the channel, notifications on. Let me know also your favorite altcoins, either right now in the chat, but also later in the comments, if you watch this later, that you want to be talking about. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I catch you in the next live stream. Have a good one, and bye.